This is episode 2 of Docs Dugout with
Jacob Knight.
Frank Osborne has been pulled away to do a prior engagement, so we're filling in with a producer. We're also joined with our first guest of the series, AKSEL Battal. How are we?
Good. Thank you for having me on. Feel very happy to be the first guest here.
Pleasure, big man coming in. Knows a lot about the media world, knows a lot about football and strength and conditioning, which we will get onto soon. But also different concept. Instead of having a guest in person, we've got him digitally, which is the beauty of technology. So get right into things. And do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? How do we know each other, AKSEL?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, me and Nathan met each other, what, 2 years ago? Almost 2 years ago,
now.
playing summer league in Duluth. MPSL went very far that year. Both me and Nathan had some injury problems. But yeah, I clearly remember me and Nathan being there almost first out of everyone in the team and having to, because none of us had a driver's license, right?
No.
So we had to just bike everywhere, and we had to bike for whatever 20 minutes to get to the gym. That's my best memory of Nathan. Yeah, and then Jacob, a pleasure to meet you as well.
Nice to meet you too, Axel.
Yeah, we lived across the road. Actually, our host families were across the road from each other. When we were playing up at Duluth, and yeah, the first time we were at that game was the first day I met you, right? And you came up and you asked about Sam Wardrobe.
That's right.
So
shout out Sam Wardrobe.
Yeah, which I guess you're taking the reins off him. I guess you're the Danish Sam Wardrobe.
No, that's a lot to say. I think he had a spell there where he showed up on my For You page every 1 minute for sure. I don't want to take that crown yet, but great guy.
Yeah, he's doing his thing. A great guy when I met him as well. He came and done I think I told you that at the time, right? He came to do like a talk when I was playing back home in Scotland. But yeah, good guy. So first set, we like to come in with like quick fire questions just to ease into things. So Jacob's going to fire you off some questions.
Just to get to know you a little bit better.
If you're struggling to understand them, feel free to mention it and we'll slow it down.
And then you've got Nathan trying to make it simpler.
Yeah, exactly. That's not going to help.
Right, so start off with home game or away game?
Controversial away game.
Ooh, goal or an assist?
Goal.
Last minute winner or a goal line clearance?
Last minute winner.
Favorite holiday destination?
Lanzarote, the Canary Islands.
I knew you were going to say that.
What about you? I see that.
Lanzarote.
Oh, Lanzarote. Love the place.
Just back from there, didn't you? Not long.
I was there this Christmas break. We go to the same place every time. Been there 6 times. Absolutely amazing. Club La Santa, shout out. Little training resort. So good.
You'll be getting a sponsor, but all expenses paid next time you're there, son.
I emailed them and I asked, so we'll see now. But that would be absolutely amazing.
Right, so pre-match go-to food.
Ooh. This is a fun one. Early in my career, it would always be pasta, like pasta. You want those slow carbohydrates that take long to fuel. Lately, I've been trying some pancakes, Declan Rice method. Pancakes, and you know what? That quick glycogen goes right into your muscles. I like it, so I'll have to say pancakes now.
Wow, I'm getting a bit into that with these. Favorite cheat meal?
Licorice, Danish licorice.
Like the sweets?
Licorice?
Yeah.
Take, by the way, that's a crazy take.
that could be the most obscure answer we'll ever get on these.
Licorice is like top 5 worst sweets.
And that's a funny thing, because if you meet anyone from Denmark or Sweden, any Scandinavian country, of licorice. Yeah, you grow up with it. It's funny,
my dad likes it, to be fair.
Yeah, my mum like craves it.
I think it tastes like tiles.
Right then, who's winning the World Cup?
I'll go with Brazil.
Actually, I think Spain are I was looking today. Spain is the bookmakers' favourite. I think they've got a 15% chance of winning it.
Have to be English, right? England.
They were like 11 to the thing. England
to the World Cup.
Scotland. The real answer is Scotland.
I don't want to talk too much about what happened between Scotland and Denmark. That wasn't very pleasurable. So yeah, next question.
Messi or Ronaldo?
Messi's a better player. I appreciate Ronaldo more, and I relate to his story more.
I like it. I like it. Best player played with?
Because I'm in with Nathan, I'm not gonna say Nathan. Don't worry. But because I'm in with Nathan, I'm actually gonna say Edward.
Edward Nice, yeah. I'm actually hoping to get him on. I'm hoping his English has improved enough to get him on. While we were delivering a little Belgian kid. Oh my God! I've told you, the boy that kept doing the fake shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, made me look silly first. He's now signed with Dallas, right? He went in the draft with Dallas. Yeah.
Yeah, he
very good player.
yeah, he went to the draft and then he ended up signing with I think MLS Next Pro team. So
Yeah,
very cool.
good, very good player.
I've the love of got the contacts and
Yeah.
And then final question: night kickoff or a day kickoff?
Night under the lights.
Right,
I'm a big fan of that.
I prefer. I don't like the waiting about. The waiting about kills me. You know, you're eating. You need to eat 3 meals before kick-off, and then you're sitting doing nothing. But back home, I played every Friday night under the lights, so I'm kind of used to it.
Right.
But I like a 3 o'clock kick-off.
Under the lights, a little bit of drizzle. Oh, that's what you need. Bit of rain coming down.
Right, into the first sort of segment we're going to go for. We'd just like to talk about people's footballing pathways. You know, you've obviously made the jump over to America, and we'll get to that eventually. But when did your football journey start?
Yeah. So just like everyone, basically, I grew up playing football from the age of probably 5. I had some other sports in there, some handball, some gymnastics, some different things.
You played at a pretty high level of handball, no?
I would like to say so myself, yeah, but others probably wouldn't agree. But no, I played handball for a bit, and that's a whole nother discussion. But growing up playing different sports seems to be, the science is kind of disagreeing on some points, but seems to be a great way to develop a good, well-rounded athlete later in life. So that's definitely a good thing.
I read a study thing on that, saying the more it's like jack of all trades, more well, which you see a lot in America. Like American athletes grow up playing every sport, don't they?
Yeah,
maybe that's why they tend to be more athletic. You know, big D1s, athletic players.
Sort of heard gymnastics is like the best for everything.
Yeah, well, you can do mad flips and stuff. I've seen some of your goal celebrations.
Yeah, that's a good thing. It hasn't been used that often, but no, the goal celebration is on point. Yeah, I mean, having a good movement vocabulary, being able to get into different positions that you learn from different sports, that'll always help you. Mainly by decreasing injury risk, actually, because you're used to those outer positions. Now I lost. Oh yeah, so that was what I grew up doing, and I played football as well. I played locally at first until I was around 15, where I went to, or 16, where I went to an academy. Played in an academy in Gothenburg called Gais. They're actually doing quite well now. They're going out to Europe. And from there, I went to the under 19, and I was in that gap between the under 17, under 19, where kind of some people are getting told off. I mean, they're getting sent out, and I'm sure you're knowledgeable about this as well, because of the English system and the probably Scottish system. Same is kind of ruthless.
Break ages, really.
Yeah, it's ruthless, and so I was kind of there, and I got offered a spot in the under 19s, but as one of the last to get offered a spot. So I was like, okay, all right, they want me in the team, but do you really want me?
Yeah.
So I chose to go to a little smaller club with a decent first team. So I actually played first team football at, I think, 17 in the 4th division of Sweden.
Which is a very underrated thing to do. I really wish I'd done it at 16, 17 to get a taste of. Men's football is massive, being able to have that experience from a young age, I think.
And men's football is like completely different to the academy level.
Yeah, like it all flips.
It's a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. It's night and day. I mean, the men's football is it's not really quicker, but it's more physical and
Yeah,
it's more about winning. In those academy days, you're all
yeah,
about
absolutely.
developing and stuff like that. So yeah, that gave me a good
Definitely.
little base to build on to go to college. So I was there where I played in that fourth division, and I finished my high school degree in Sweden, and I was at the point where I either keep on playing here, keep on trying to kind of pursue pro in Sweden, or I go to the US. I had a little agent or two reach out. I think they reach out to almost every footballer nowadays on DMs. So yeah, they reached out, and it seems very cool. I love the fact that you could keep on studying and playing at a high level. Obviously skeptical at first, which I think everyone is before heading out. I
Yeah,
think the stigma around US football, soccer, still that it's lacking in many areas, which it is. But
yeah,
you've both seen yourself as well that there are levels that are very high in the US. And even when you compare it to European levels, I mean, you see this all the time. You see American colleges go
yeah.
abroad
They
to
play that
Europe.
card.
Yeah, and they do well. I mean, I don't know if they're playing the first, if it's under 23, if they're playing the best under 23 players at all times when they play against stuff like Fulham
Yeah, they're
and
still,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
they're still there. Like, no
Yeah,
one's a bad player playing in the Premier League under 23s,
exactly.
which
And
shows
they
the
are,
levels of like American college systems. Like some are, yeah, you get the few that are bad, but obviously the ones that are of the top scale, like top tier, are good teams.
They
And
can be classed as academy. A lot
yeah,
of them back at home. Like that.
that was the biggest thing that I came. We'll get to this, but when I came over, I thought like there was much more Americans. I thought I'd be one of the only ones that's foreign. You come over and you're in a changing room, and there's maybe one American out of 30 boys.
I mean, well, now in our first team, there's not
Yeah,
one.
we don't have a single American in our first team, for example.
you have multiple teams or,
Yeah, we have a first and second, like a development team. Even in our
ah,
development
okay.
team, we've got hardly any
There's
Americans.
only, I'd say there's only a handful of Americans in our development team.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
it's
mean,
definitely
same in this.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I, so I realized that and I started doing a little bit of research, watch some games and stuff like that. And when you're watching the games beforehand and you kind of, I remember I was looking into the ACC a lot of the Clemsons and
yeah,
schools like that, UNC, whatever. And that was
The big
obviously
schools.
I remember, yeah, the very, very good schools. I remember my dad going in the call I had with my agency, our first call. We asked if he'd, have you ever had anyone sent to University of Virginia? And the agent was like, yeah, I had a couple. So we were like, okay, that's where I'm going. So I mean, and that's when you realize when you start the recruiting process that there are thousands
yeah,
of talented Europeans, Americans, South Americans that try to get recruited to the US. And there is a small kind of hole that you got to get through to get to these big colleges. And yeah, when I came to the US, I realized that there's levels to this and there are good levels in the US. And I think everyone that takes the journey to the US realizes that. So that's basically how I ended up over here, overseas.
yeah, perfect. That is the other thing. When you come, maybe a bit of naivety. When I first started my recruiting, you think D1, all you hear about D1 athletes, D1 athletes. That's it. You have to
Hmm.
go play D1 or it's bust. And you originally came out to D1, UMass,
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And you're now NAIA top. What was your ranking? Top 15 did you finish?
Yeah, I want to say third. Yeah,
So like
13th, I want to
top.
say.
But before I came out, I'd never even heard of any IA schools. And I first came out as a B. My offers were, I had D1 offers, but they were too, like, people also go, yeah, D1, D1. It's not the be all and end all, is it? You know, there's everyone can play at any sort of level. So originally D2 and now NAIA, again, top program. But I didn't even think of that in my first like, recruitment. Mine was D1 or bust, essentially, which turned out not to be the case.
I mean, that's what they all put on the social medias. That
Yeah,
they want the
you
big
see,
schools,
yeah.
but that's not the high expectations
People.
of coming over. Yeah.
And I think now there's more and more TikTok I'll scroll through, and there's more people that are doing like days in the life, for example, at the NAIs, at the D2s, even D3s I've seen, whereas everything before was like D1 athletes are make or break. And if you're not D1, then you're doing something wrong, which isn't the case at all.
Not at all. And I mean, if you're in a situation where scholarship matters a lot to you. I mean, NAIA has a bunch of scholarships. Some NAIAs have more scholarships than D1s do. So and now
Yeah,
it's definitely a
exactly.
viable option. And I'm doing a day in the life actually today. We'll see when it comes out, but I'm
Yeah,
recording one today. So gotta represent
yeah.
those NAIA schools a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. We'll plug your social medias as well, and obviously we'll get on to
Yeah,
your
that'll be good.
strength conditioning background soon enough. But the next one is, what was your biggest culture shock coming over from Denmark to make the jump over to America? Footballing wise and just in like daily. We'll get to the differences in football, but even just daily life.
At the day-to-day lifestyle.
Oh, there's so many. If I start with the football, what I always say, and like we'll talk about later, why I've kind of chosen to do what I do, is that physical
Yeah.
side of US soccer. And everyone kind of talks about it, and maybe some people talk about it a little bit too much. But going to a D1 program, I really realized how important it is to be physically fit. And not only is it about how far you can run, it's also about how strong you are, how explosive you are. Coaches notice how fast you are, and they prioritize that way higher than they would back home. So I
Yeah.
came in extremely fit running wise. I came in and I won the yo-yo test on the first day. And I've done that a couple of times in Sweden before, and it's not a big deal. You do a couple of tests before and after, whatever. I mean, this one, I'll tell you, like the coach pulled me aside after practice, praised me. He was so happy that I won this yo-yo
Oh,
test.
really?
I mean, the emphasis on the physical side is
Yeah.
just on another level, and it develops you. So, I mean, that was one of the things that I was kind of scared of heading out, because people were talking about how the physical side of the US was so big, and then I was thinking, okay, then they don't know how to play football, I guess. You will notice with everyone who's gone to college, when they head home, they are usually better physically. It has an
Yeah.
impact on you. Even whether you believe it or not, you spend 4 years, you have a probably some kind of strength and conditioning coach, you do some type of gym sessions while you're there. There's a big emphasis on it. And when you head home to Europe or to South America or wherever you're from, you will be better suited to
Yeah.
play football at a high level.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that all of a sudden your technique is going to be worse, because just as we know, you're training, what you say right now,
Yeah,
you're
every
training
day.
3 times, like a triple.
Yeah.
Of course, you're going to develop your technical side and your tactical side as well. So as an all-around package, that's why college soccer is brilliant for most young players. In terms of college or culture shocks in daily life, there is a couple. I mean, the school, first and foremost, is not as hard as I would have thought it would be. And I think everyone can agree on that. I mean,
Absolutely.
and I'm not complaining at all, but US colleges, and it obviously depends on what college as well. I assume if you go to
Yeah,
Harvard,
yeah.
then it's going to be
Yeah.
different. But most
And
US
what course you're
colleges,
studying as well.
yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you're
a
spot on. Even the difference, like, I know I'm not trying to like degrade anyone that's doing degrees out in America, but like back home, I would never, like, I played football. I was never going to go to university ever. Like, wouldn't be able to do it. Like, my mates get 70% in a test and they're absolutely buzzing, and they're in the library 10 hours a week, probably
yeah.
more than that. Whereas I get 90%. 70% a fail over here, but everything's multiple choice, and
hmm
you're not actually doing any sort of real exams.
It's a lot more relaxed. The exams over here are very relaxed
Yeah,
compared
yeah.
to writing essays and essays back at home.
Definitely a
Yeah.
big one that I realised. Even the difference
100%.
between my old school and this school,
hmm
there's a difference in that too.
Yeah. And I mean, another thing, culture shock wise, is the food. I mean, you can go, if I go 3 minutes down the road right here, I think there's way need options for fast food. I mean, it's
Yeah.
absolutely insane.
Straight away. Yeah.
Um, and
Not,
you'll
not that
obviously
you're
get
eating any
tempted.
of that.
No, obviously you got to have a balance, and I am eating some of that sometimes. But you know how people speak about the freshman 15. They gain
Yeah.
15 pounds in your freshman year. I think it's completely true. I mean, you go to dining halls in the US, you go to fast food restaurants, whatever, there's more fat, more sugar, more
Yeah.
everything. You have to navigate that as well. So,
Yeah. That's a great answer actually. But my old school, yeah, we were in Asheville, and 15 minutes down the road, and like you're saying, we had anything you could possibly think of. We had at our fingertips. I'm having crumble. I had like about 4 or 5 crumble cookies before I even realised there's like 2,000 calories per cookie. I'm sitting having 3 a night.
You realise when you wake up, oh God.
So yeah, I'm like, what is that? Pure sugar crashing. What about differences in football style then compared?
Yeah, I mean, Scandinavian football is actually very developing right now, and they practice a lot of possession style football
Yeah,
currently in Scandinavia, whether that's Sweden or Denmark or Norway, much more than you'd actually think. There's extreme examples I've seen at clubs that I've been at as well, where you really try to play out and you really involve the keeper, and the coach shouts at you if you go long,
if you're going, yeah,
if
yeah.
you are in a tight situation, you know. So um, there is obviously a difference, and that is also due to the fact that in most academies and young teams, you're not really about winning
But
as
yeah,
much as
there's
you'd be in
nothing on the
college,
line. Yeah,
right? So what I see in college instead is a faster game, more chaotic game, more back and forth.
yeah, definitely. That's a great chaotic word. It's
Yeah,
spot on.
yeah, I think that's a clear difference. You can only do so much as well in college as a coach. You have what, 2 weeks before your
Yeah,
first game when you arrive at preseason versus back home where you'd have, well, a whole year preparing. So there is obviously going to be tactical differences, and it is a faster, more chaotic game than back home. I'd say those are probably the biggest differences.
yeah. That's funny. I actually had a interview the other day with a boy, a coach back home that coaches the under 10s at St Mirren, but he's writing a dissertation on like the pathways between grassroots football, professional academies, and US college systems. And he found me on AI, funny enough. They just put in like players who have played in all three of these genres of football, and my name came up. So he texted me on LinkedIn, had a great talk. Guy Andy Denham, if you're watching, I'm going to get you back on later. But yeah, great talk, and that was exactly the same answer that I gave him when he asked me the differences, just like chaotic, fast paced, less time to think about stuff beforehand. Just go, go, go.
Yeah.
Whereas academy football is more structured and organised, and like you're
Yeah.
saying, when especially younger, we used to get told that we would rather concede than, for example, kick the ball out for a throw in. We would rather concede to playing out, which is why, again, that's up until under 16s, and then it changes as soon as you hit 18, suddenly you're expected to win. But we've not been like trained to do that for the last 5 years.
I mean, that's from because you came from the academy, and obviously both of you came from academy. I was in the academy at a young age, but it's just very direct football.
Yeah.
You get the biggest kids on the block, lump it to them, and you can work around them.
Grassroots, yeah.
There's not much playing about where I'm from.
Yeah. Results driven business, like obviously in college systems now, it's you're talking scholarships, hundreds of thousands a year, like pumped into these programs. It's big money, and for managers to turn around and go, oh, we play good football, but we get beat every game. That's not going to keep a job or keep boys getting paid.
Exactly.
Yeah, great answers. So we mentioned you initially came out to a D1 before transferring. I've also been in the transfer portal. What was your transfer portal experience like? What was on through your head? What's the stress behind the scene people don't see?
Yeah, I mean, stress and highs and lows is kind of like putting yourself into, I mean, you're going into a casino where you're getting these emails one day and you're kind of opening the email, you're all excited. I saw a couple of D1 schools that were reaching out, and then you reach back to them and there's no answer. So like
Yeah,
there's always this kind of game going on when it comes to recruiting where some people are
absolutely.
very active, some people almost play hard to get. So that definitely up and down, and definitely a stressful period. I mean, I went through all of the contacts I had on my phone. I asked all of them if they had something. I asked them about their contacts, so I tried to get contact
Yeah,
and see if they knew a coach somewhere who were looking for a right back in this case. Definitely a chaotic period, but I think putting yourself forward with a good highlight video, obviously getting good grades, um, that
yeah,
kind of
that's a
stuff can
massive
obviously
factor
put you
that
ahead.
people probably don't even think about when they're, yes, you're out here to play football and to win games and studying on the side, but like GPA, the grade point average is massive for, especially if you want to get a move.
And as well, the rule at our university where if you don't have a certain GPA,
Yeah,
you can't
eligibility
play.
wise, you can't play. We've got a few boys that can't play this spring for great on the pitch, but if you can't do it in the classroom as well.
Yeah.
You're also an asset to a coach because obviously the more, like, the better you are in the classroom, the more money you can get from the academic sides, which means coaches don't have to pay you £100,000 scholarship purely on athletic. They can split it up, which is good. Yeah, that was similar to me when I remember, like, first few days I got in the portal, phone's going mental. Like, people texting me, phoning me, emailing me.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, class, class. And then you reply to them, and then it's a week silence, 2 weeks, and you're like, oh my God, I need to sort something out here. And then, yeah, like you're saying, it is take it day by day, highs and lows. But yeah, that's good to know. What led you to LSUS?
Yeah. I mean, I was obviously at UMass Lowell there, a pretty good team. They actually did very good last year in one of the best conferences in the US,
Yeah,
college-wise, is the America East. They got Vermont there, who's, I think they won national champions in
2
24.
years ago, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. New Hampshire, who's always been great. U Albany, NJIT. There's good teams in that conference for sure. I actually played against a player. When you asked me before about the best player I've played, I guess it was with. But if I were to say the best player I've played against in that game against New Hampshire, there's a player. I can't remember what his name is now. It'll come back to me in a sec. But he's a midfielder. He was a midfielder for New Hampshire. Played against him, and then the year after he got drafted. He got drafted to Inter Miami and is currently still playing for Inter Miami, starting some games, playing with Messi, playing with Suarez, Busquets, all these people. It's absolutely insane.
Not the team that the boy from Newcastle went to. He, like, played in the Champions League with Newcastle 2 years ago or something crazy, and I'm sure he moved to New Hampshire. He got injured and he moved to New Hampshire. So yeah, there's some definite big talent in that league.
Yeah, exactly. Now, so then when we were in that league 3, 4 years ago, very tough. I think we lost. I mean, I think we won 1 or 2 games in the conference. So yeah, obviously very tough when you're in a team that
Yeah.
doesn't succeed, and it kind of becomes negative on top of negative, and you kind of
Yeah,
keep digging a hole.
yeah, the
And
little
at the end
things
of the
just
season,
snowball into bigger things.
yeah, and I mean, that's one of those reasons why I'd say as well that going to a top program, going to a top NAIA, going to a top D2, there is so many benefits to that, and you shouldn't be overlooking that just because you want to go D1.
Yeah,
So I mean, I was
absolutely.
there. I enjoyed the school part of it. I enjoyed everything outside of football. I didn't enjoy the football
Yeah,
at all. So I chose to go into the transfer portal, looking around. Again, back then, my head was on over the skies. I was thinking, okay, let me transfer upwards. Let me go to a better
yeah.
D1. Again, these ACC talks. Not really when I was transferring. I knew I wasn't going Clemson back then, but I was looking for schools. I was talking to a bunch of different D2s, mainly D2s, top D2s. And then this NAIA kind of offer came by, and I didn't really know a lot about NAIA. I thought it was
Yeah.
JUCO actually, but turned out that, I mean, NAIA schools have players that are really high level as well. Usually players that may not for some reason be eligible
Ex-pros.
for, yeah, exactly, ex-pros, old players.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know about you, but we've had players here that have been, I mean, I don't know, 26.
yeah.
So
We've got a boy married with kids in Brazil.
Wife and kids.
how
And you've got a
old is
lovely
he?
kid that he's probably
I think
27.
27. Yeah.
Yeah,
Came
I mean,
from Lindsay Wilson. We got him last year. But, like, yeah, that's
oh
true.
wow,
And we play against boys that are 26, 27, 28.
yeah. I mean, yeah, that's one of the things. I mean, so yeah, NAIA, good level. Chose to go there, and it's been good. It's been a good couple of 3 years, so I'm very happy with that decision.
That takes on to the last question about transfer pool. What was your, like, the factors that mattered the most to you? Was it the football level? Was it the coaching facilities, the academic side? What interested you the most when you're looking at new schools?
This is a great question because it changed so much from when I was heading to the US originally and when I chose to transfer. When I was heading to the US originally, it was just about level of football in terms of
Yeah,
divisions. And I mean, that was basically it. I was looking at level of football, like how good is the football team? And that's obviously a good metric to look at. But when I transferred, I realized that there was a couple of things that are more important. One of those things is the coach.
yeah,
Mainly, what does the players think the
Yeah.
current players and the ex-players think of the coach. And I was okay with answers like he's strict, or oh, he does a lot of running or stuff like that. I was okay with that. I didn't want to hear like he cut boys left and right, or
Yeah.
oh, he was manipulative and did weird things and stuff like
Yeah.
that, which is more common than not.
The big one when I was talking to boys was I wanted to find out the boys that maybe weren't playing, what do they think of them? Is that
Yeah.
like 9 times out of 10, if somebody says something bad about you, like a player says, "Oh, I don't like that manager," it's because maybe you're not playing for him or you're not good
Yeah.
enough to play, and that's why you don't like him. But if you've got someone that goes, "Yeah, I'm not playing, but the manager's good," like that's when you know
You need to get both sides of the
yeah,
story.
yeah,
don't you?
yeah.
Definitely.
Both sides of the
Yeah,
coin.
definitely. So that was one of them, the coach. And then I was looking at international players. I mean, I wanted,
Yeah.
not that I have anything against Americans. I just wanted to feel like one of the team where like everyone came from different backgrounds, whatever. I think at LSUS we also only had one or two Americans that doesn't even want to identify themselves as Americans last year. So I mean, it's all these Caribbeans. But no, I mean, I think I succeeded well with that. I don't think there was anything else. I mean, contacting players. I mean, we just said it, but that is so important. I can't believe how many
Yeah.
players go to a college without having talked to a single
Yeah.
player from that
They
college.
just turn up. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, you're shooting yourself in
Um,
the foot doing that straight away. You want to see it from a
yeah,
player's perspective. Obviously, the coach is going to big you up. Like, it's their job to sign you.
Yeah.
They're wanting to bring in X, Y, and Z or X amount of money. And obviously, they're going to say, yeah, come in and do this. But yeah, you need to see it from a player's perspective.
I mean, that's what our coach does really well.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I first came, I was starting to speak to.
When I was transferring, like before you have them, like you're talking to them, but you're not committed. I was talking to again 3, 4, 5 boys that have graduated, injured boys that are playing, boys that aren't playing, which is a very important thing to build your like picture in your head of what you're going to get
And then
yourself
as well,
into.
you're not coming in blind as well.
Yeah.
You've got friends to talk to. That's one thing which I'm really glad of doing when I came out,
Yeah.
contacting the people here. But then I'm coming in and I can actually speak and get to know a lot more people.
Well, I actually got the job. I got the role of being the guy. Don't know who put me in charge of that, but I got passed the boy's number to give him a phone to tell him like my thoughts on it. And then this was a few weeks ago, and he actually texted me the other day saying that he's committed. So I must have been good enough lad to him.
Surprised he knew what he was talking
I'm
about.
surprised he never blocked my number. Who's this weirdo? Yeah, so yeah, great insights into the transfer portal, and it is people think it's always like greener grass. For both of us, maybe was better moving and we've got what we wanted, but that's not always the case, and that's also important for people to. Some people transfer 2, 3, 4 times, and it's like, why? Maybe it's a player issue, maybe it's not the team. Why is this guy transferring a bunch?
Could just be an individual point.
Which that takes on to back to summer league. So we originally met Duluth 2 years ago. Well, unfortunately, we were both picked up some injuries early on, but they went to Final Four National, San Francisco. Was something did you go to San Fran?
No, I went. I mean, when I got that hip injury, I went home. I think it was. I have a hard time remembering, but it was before the Nationals. Yeah.
Kicked on, and I went home. I broke my leg, so I flew home to get that sorted. But Duluth, I'm actually going back this year. Have you got summer league plans? Are you retiring for now?
I mean, I will be home in Denmark. I mean, I'm done with college. But if I was, I would definitely be going to. I saw the new head coach now today.
New coaches, English, I think, superior player, very young, and I had a phone call with him because I was going to go and play USL 2. I was talking to a few teams there, and then the new manager phoned me, and then Sarah phoned me. Sarah Schuster, the owner or co-owner, and then I was just talking to her like, right, I can take a gamble and go to these USL 2 teams where, yes, you're told you get X, Y, and Z, but how many times do you see that people say they're going to get house and they're going to get food, they're going to get transport, you turn up and you get none of that, and suddenly you're out of pocket. So I thought, Duluth, you're guaranteed to know what you're getting, and I love everyone up there, and I'd like to think people like me up there as well, which is always good. But how do you think summer league compares to the college season? Do you think it's more relaxed, more competitive, more stressful? What's your thoughts on that side of things?
Definitely more relaxed. I mean, you have no school going on, so depending on
Yeah,
what you're doing outside of soccer, you could have the rest of your day completely off, which most of us had at Duluth. So relaxing in that sense for sure. Game schedule is pretty similar. I mean, we had kind of one or
yeah,
two games every week,
a
anyways.
week. Yeah,
Yeah, so from that point of view, it's kind of similar. I think purely football wise, it is a little bit different. I don't know why actually. I mean, if it's because I mean, it also depends from team to team, of course. But in Duluth, we played very good football for the most part. I mean, we really tried to dominate teams with the ball. So, and that was something that by that time I had been here for one semester, but I'd mainly just come from D1, and I remember that there was quite a big difference, and I was happy about it. That they actually
yeah.
wanted to keep the ball and play. What to say?
More European football. More football than soccer is what we used to all say. Then that comes from
Yeah,
a manager, Sean, Northern Irish boy. He'd been there for
yeah,
10 years, done the course. So it depends who your gaffer is as well, I suppose.
of
If you
course,
have an American gaffer,
It's
maybe it is,
completely
yeah,
different.
completely different. And that's the best thing. Like you've got coaches, you've got players from all over the world that bring their different cultures, their different style of play, and then it's a combination of finding what
What
works.
suits the team best?
But yeah, they're good answers because off the pitch, yeah, much more relaxed. You don't have to think about school. You're when we used to train at what 8 in the morning. You're
Mhm.
done by 10, 11. Boys got coffees, and then I played a lot of golf before I was injured. Similar last year, you train in the mornings. Don't have to think about anything. You do coaching, you make a bit of money. You're helping the community. You're playing golf. Life's good. It's good weather.
I
You're
mean,
just
that
chilling.
this is I'm doing summer league this year for a team called Houston Sir. So this is
Mhm.
Your
obviously
first taste of it.
my first taste of it, and I'm talking to you, and obviously now Nathan, I'm getting a better understanding of all what goes
Yeah.
onto it.
Yeah. When you first went to Duluth the only year you played summer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you going into it with more like, was it about the exposure, keeping sharpness, or was it just for enjoyment while we were?
Yeah, it was actually a pretty funny situation where our coach here, our coach Adam Kay, he's a very, very serious coach who's all about winning. Like I've never met someone who's a bigger winner, really. So I mean, he kind of
Yeah.
wanted everyone to go summer league, and
Yeah.
I can think that's kind of unique. I mean, not he forced anyone, but he kind of forced everyone. So you had to go summer league. But for me, that was a great. I mean, I wasn't forced in any way. I mean, I wanted to kind of
Yeah.
experience what that was like. I think you have an edge over every other player who goes back home and doesn't do anything for
Yeah.
the whole summer when you go summer league.
Can-
So I think you get
yeah,
that kind
on
of
that, I don't know what it's like. Do you play over summer? Can you play? Because like in Britain,
back
the
home.
leagues like yeah, seasons are done. So anyone that's British that's going home is most likely off in order doing
It's
nothing.
more another pre-season over summer
Yeah,
back in
yeah.
England.
Like
All the leagues are finished
yeah,
by
you
then.
finish by April, May time, and you get your 6 weeks off, the 5 weeks off, and then after that you can maybe catch the back end of pre-season, or the start of pre-season, sorry, at the back end of before you come back over. But if I if I went home in the summer, I'd be doing that.
Yeah, it's the same in Denmark. It's the same
Yeah,
and Sweden for that matter. You can't really. I mean, it's probably easier actually to get a club and train with them a bit. I did train with a club for a bit, but no, it doesn't compare to summer league, obviously,
yeah.
for sure.
How important do you think summer league is for the US college system as a whole? Obviously, it's split into like the pyramid for future
Oh,
footballers. Like if you're wanting to make a career out of football,
how important is it to go and play summer
yeah,
league? I think it's about who you are as an individual. What are you going to do if you don't play summer league? I mean, are you going
yeah,
to go home and are you going to spend the entire
do
summer
nothing,
grinding, training, or are you going to
yeah,
do nothing and go out for a couple of bevs? So, I mean,
yeah.
yeah, it's
Well,
kind of up to
you
that.
can,
Get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, exactly. So no, but going summer league will most often be a very good choice. There are a few instances where um, I like to see players purely going through a 3 month kind of off-season block and totally transforming their physique. Kind of if you have a player that is already technically brilliant, is already there tactically,
yeah,
decision making, all of this stuff, but you can really gain a lot by just becoming a bit stronger, faster, and
yeah,
fitter before next season. That would be a case where I probably wouldn't go and you just focus on that because you can make a lot of gains if you just focus on that straight for 3 months.
yeah,
But in any other scenario, I mean, going summer league is crucial. I mean, I think MPSL as a league, I think if I take Duluth, for example, I think that would sit probably in kind of in D1 territory. I mean, mid D1 territory
Yeah,
from my experience. I think we had a great team. I think if we were to play,
definitely.
for example, in that America East conference I just talked about, we would definitely end up as one of the highest teams. So it's
Yeah,
a good level,
they're
and
all
yeah,
right.
definitely good.
Yeah, and then you look at cases like we're talking about Mela. Edward Nice. So he played
Hmm.
Duluth his first year. That was his. Was that his year in America? Or was he second? He was at JUCO, and he came anyway. He came, played with us for that summer. Then he went to Asheville City, which is one of the biggest USL two teams, the summer after. And then he went and got his draft move, and he's now playing pro. So that is a valid pathway. If obviously it comes down to are you good enough at the end of the day?
I mean, that's the biggest selling point for summer league teams.
Exposure.
It's exposure,
Yeah,
and a lot of them say it's route to pro,
Yeah.
road to pro,
yeah,
basically.
it's like a pre-professional league they call it. Like, I think Duluth
Mhm.
brand themselves as like a pre-professional because as college athletes, technically you're not allowed to have played or have played pro
Not loud.
while still in college. That takes on to you're the busiest man ever. Balancing life. How do you like how important is time management to you? And what does a typical maybe it changes now that you've graduated, but what would a typical week look like when you were still playing?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. First of all, time management is like I mean, that's one of the biggest thing you learn in college. Like
Yeah,
everyone learns it, and everyone has to learn it because if you don't
yeah, you
manage
have
your
to learn
time well,
fast.
yeah, you're cooked. So, I mean, a typical week when I was playing, which I mean, to kind of describe for everyone out there, I mean, I'm still at college, my last spring here. When you're in your
Yeah,
spring in your last season, you're kind of you get the choice if you want to keep going or if you want to do something else. Right now, I'm just focusing fully on my own business side of things. But when I was playing, which would be last semester, it's tense. I mean, it's for us, we had training every single day of the week, basically, and you have one rest day, which is after a game. But a day would be waking up. We always trained mornings. We trained 7 a.m. for the entire fall. Actually, my entire last 2 years here, we've trained 7 a.m. So you wake up around 5:45 ish, and then show up to training. You get your training done. You might have a little class at maybe 9 or 10, and then we have lift at 11. 11 to 12, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then after that, you have the rest of the day off, which I don't mind it having morning trainings for that reason. The only thing you have to focus on is really getting to bed early,
yeah,
which a lot of people struggle with, obviously. But if you get to bed early, I mean, everyone has the same 24 hours. So if you get to bed early, wake up early, it's a great way of living. And obviously,
yeah.
time management. I mean, using a Google Calendar is my biggest advice. It doesn't have to be Google, but literally just jotting down everything. Like that's what I do right now. Even now when I've graduated, I have. If anyone's ever seen my calendar, it's like blocked out in every single section. What are you doing right now? And even if that's resting, because you're not going to be working all the time. I like to have in my calendar this period. I'm literally resting. Like this is when I can
So
switch off because otherwise, yeah. I
yeah,
mean, but work on my social media, work on programming for some of the athletes I work with, and work on obviously going to the gym, running, playing. I mean, all of those things you kind of got to fit into your schedule. So time management is just a crucial skill to learn.
yeah, yeah. It's sink or swim in it. My freshman year, I remember we would used to train at 6 a.m. and I would get in and it would be I'd never nap back home. Made it 18 years. I think the last time I'd had a nap was when I was like a baby. And
Yeah.
I remember like the first few weeks, I'd get in at 2 o'clock and I'd be out until 5. And then that would mess me up um for like my nighttime sleep because now I've just slept
Sleeping
for
schedule
3 hours during the day, which was a nightmare.
Yeah, all good.
Um, so that takes us on to your strength and conditioning background. Obviously, is it the women's tennis coach?
Yeah, right now I
Is
work
that
with women's tennis and a bit of men's soccer as well.
you're dipping into men's soccer? While you were playing, do you think your coaching improves your leadership on the pitch? Do you think they have a connection? And does it help you like see the game differently?
No, I mean, when you coach, and I think everyone kind of experienced this throughout their throughout their playing career, you realize how hard coaching actually is, and you get a bit of respect for who your coach is. Just kind of taking control of a room and having everyone listening to you, keeping their attention, stuff like that. Oh, for sure. I mean, it helped me massively, and I was very happy to be able to. I don't think there's a lot of college. My camera just turned off. Anyways,
Yeah.
there's not a lot of college students that get the opportunity to work with athletes that are also in college while they're there. So obviously, great opportunity.
Yeah, you're doing very, very cool things with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how do you avoid burnout? You know, during the season, you're training, you're coaching, you're studying. Now you're coaching full time almost.
Yeah. I mean, again, goes back to kind of blocking out time in your day. What do you want to do? Taking time to actively rest, doing something outside of soccer. I think that's important for every single soccer player out
Yeah,
there to have kind of
definitely.
some kind of, yeah, to have a hobby or a project or something they're working out on
Yeah,
outside of football. And
which
when
is
I
what
say
this
that
is.
to, especially to, I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, and when I say that to young players, because I speak about this sometimes on my account, they are a bit confused because they want to be grinding all the time. They want
Yeah,
to either be playing football or watching football or training to become better at football.
yeah,
So I mean, having something else will switch your mind off a little bit, will get you kind of relaxed, and you don't always want to be in this sympathetic state where you just kind
yeah.
of tense and all fight or
Always
flight
ready
mode.
for it. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I got
exactly.
told when I first got into like full-time environments, like I play football, but like it's not, I'm not just a footballer. I just happen to play football. It's like the same as any
Yeah.
job. Like I know some people might think about work, but like my sister, as soon as it turns 5 o'clock, she's not thinking about work until 8 o'clock the next day type of thing. Which, yeah, football, you're
Mhm.
24/7. That's why it's hard. Like you have to be, recovery's part of your job, nutrition's part of your job, training's obviously a massive part of your job. But yeah, it's definitely crucial to have a hobby or something that isn't football.
Just takes
And
your mind off it as well,
yeah,
doesn't it?
lets you just switch off, or even if it's an hour a day, just to keep you from going nuts, I think.
Even going for a nap, I mean, not for your 3 hour naps
Yeah,
you like to
or
take.
even a quick nap. But yeah, it's definitely a good way to avoid burnout. And any sacrifices that people maybe don't see behind your life? Oh, you're not a big party drinker, are you?
I'll- yeah, I mean that's a big sacrifice for me. I don't really see it as a sacrifice anymore. I mean,
Yeah,
I
because
kind
you,
of
yeah,
yeah, because that's kind of what my choice is and what I want to do with my life.
yeah, yeah,
But obviously, you have to sacrifice. And I just spoke about this recently on one of my podcast episodes, how you can handle parties as a footballer, because it's obviously not a thing that you should avoid at all costs, and
yeah,
it's like this crazy bad thing. But oftentimes you'll have to take a lot of decisions throughout your career where you'll have to skip the parties, and your friends might be going in a different direction than you are. So being able to kind of
absolutely.
determine those things are very important. I mean, I've had made some sacrifices. There has obviously been times where I've been wanting to do something with my friends where I've known that it wouldn't benefit my game the day
Yeah,
after or my training session or stuff like we've all been through. And that
yeah,
can also be
absolutely.
very boring. You can be that boring friend who's going home early and going to bed early,
Yeah.
whatever. But sometimes, yeah, it's crucial, I guess.
But it's also good to see at a young age who your roommates and who your real friends and who you can really depend on. Because if your friends are only friends with you to go out partying and to go and do X, Y, and Z, but as soon as you can't do it because you've got football, you've got training, or you need to sleep early, and they don't want to talk to you after that, that's when you know maybe they're not actually as good as a friend as you might think they once
Yeah,
were,
100%.
which is important because
Yeah.
people say you're only as good as your friends, or your friends are who you are. And I think that is a big case. And my friends have always been good at, like, they respect what I'm doing. I respect what they are doing. I'm never going, oh, you shouldn't be going out. If that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. But there's a time and place for parties.
100%. 100%.
Saying that as if I don't like a party. I absolutely love a party. But
This is your second weekend in Babylon.
yeah, yeah. And that takes us on. That takes us on to your businesses, social media, your podcast. Anything you want to tell us about
Yeah, I mean, I started up kind of my freshman year of college. started using all those lessons that I kind of learned through both studying exercise science, but mainly also doing it myself, kind of
Yeah.
trying to improve my own physique, improve how strong I was, how fast I was, how fit I was. I took all of those lessons and kind of started helping other players with those things. So that's been absolutely amazing. And that's been something that I've found very much joy in, even more joy in than playing for me was or is. Being able to help others in their careers and already having seen a lot of players who's gone through my whatever training programs and seen results and gone to the next level and gotten whatever a scholarship for. One of my clients just got a scholarship at the US, full ride on a JUCO, and knowing that kind of, I always speak about how getting a training program is an investment, and it kind of sounds cliche, but in that case, it is a
Spot
real
on, though.
investment. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, if you wouldn't have.
Massive.
Exactly. So yeah, so I started that up. Obviously, you have to do a lot of social media to get a business like that going. I've become better at it throughout the years. Social media is also a crazy game that you can become very good at playing, and it takes a lot of practice, a lot of algorithms that not even everyone understands yet. But it's been a very fun journey, and I want to keep doing this, and I want to keep growing. And we spoke about being the next Sam Wardrop. I want to be even bigger than that. So, but
First
also
AKSEL
just
BATTAL.
being exactly, but also just being big is not really a goal for me. It's the goal is to make an impact on a lot of players'
Yeah.
careers, being that one guy. So yeah, that's it's gonna be very good to keep going on and keep building.
Yeah. And we'll stick your Instagrams and your TikToks in the bio on that. And that leads us on to last little segment. What is the future plan? I know you just touched on it. Future plans. Is it staying in the US long term? Is it going back home? Is it what are the plans in and out for go? I actually seen your TikTok saying you don't know if you're going to keep playing or not, and you're just going to stay ready in case you are. So yeah, what are
That's
the plans?
yeah, that's the exact answer right there. I mean, it's so hard to know, and I think everyone acts like they know what they want to do in life all the time. You see some people, no one knows what they're doing in this life. Let's be honest. I mean,
Everyone just
you,
pretends. Spot on. That's
yeah,
probably the best answer we'll get in any segment here.
That's literally me.
Yeah,
I was meant to go in the army, and now I'm in Barberville
Kentucky,
playing
football.
football. So life can change
exactly.
drastically.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
mean, so yeah, so I'm not gonna act like I know everything here, but one thing is for sure, I want to help a lot of young footballers, a lot of young athletes, realize their own dreams, getting to that next level, improving their athleticism, because that is what I'm good at. I'm good at making people better in that way. So that's really what I want to do a lot of. Personally, I love training, all types of training. I'm
Yeah.
gonna keep on training. I'm not gonna be one of those players who end their careers and become a couch potato. So training wise, what's gonna happen? I don't know. I mean, I see a lot of things that I'm interested in. We spoke about right before starting this. Marathons interest me a lot.
Yeah,
That kind of
marathons.
physical challenge. Um, Ironman,
Yeah,
who
you're more than
knows?
welcome to join us. Weeks
Where
to
is it you're doing yours?
train
12th of April. I mean, it's actually not a bad shout. I might actually look into it. I don't know what the flights look like from Louisiana, but
you let me
yeah,
know.
I
Have a
mean,
look. Let me know.
yeah.
The whole,
So, I mean, how many are you? Are you more people doing it from the
Uh,
team?
there's five of us doing it.
You
So
guys are gonna be absolutely
us
smashed
two.
after.
No, yeah, big thing. That's one beer for every kilometer ran. And
I
I'm
don't
on.
think we'll make it that
I'm
far
on
now.
I'm on like marathon talk. My TikTok's full of marathons. It's like first 48, 72 hours after run recovery, you have to sleep, you have to eat. And I'm thinking, I'm getting no sleep. I might eat something, but I'm definitely going to be drinking my carbs.
Oh, mate. I mean, I
Yeah.
just hope you finish it to start with, because that's gonna be a mental battle. You really have to tap into something, get something
Yeah, yeah,
before it where you're kind of thinking, this is why I'm doing it.
yeah.
Because there
The
will be
goal, the
demons
goal
at
is 4 hours, isn't it?
Yeah, but to be fair, we're only wanting a sub 4, nothing crazy.
even sub four is
Yeah,
not bad.
it's I think
It's
a 5:45 pace. Considering like we were talking about, we've been training 3 days a week, 3 times a week, 4 days a week. We've been playing games. You still got to prioritize like what comes first, your day job. We're
Yeah.
just doing this on the side for something to do. But looking forward to it. Definitely looking forward to it.
That's gonna be. I'm excited too. I'm gonna be watching from here. I mean,
Yeah,
you're just gonna at kilometer 30 when your body is
yeah. Well, we're
breaking
actually
down.
running. Yeah, we're running 30 kilometers tomorrow.
Are you?
It's like part of our training plan. Yeah, 30.
Okay, that's a lot.
We were meant to do it last week, but like in our training plan, it was last week, but because we had the game and stuff, we couldn't do it. So, you ran 15 today.
Yeah.
I ran 10 today. We've got 30 tomorrow, and then it's spring break next week, and I'm in Cancun, so we'll see what goes on then.
Ah,
You're
go
just
out
doing
for a
the
little run in
Baywatch, run
Cancun.
across the beach,
Yeah, on the beach. Just have to avoid the cartel and that.
Baywatch style.
Yeah. Yeah, last few questions here. Where do you see yourself in fact? I know you're saying you don't know. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, and what does success look like to you?
Mm. Um, in 5 years, how old am I? 27 in 5 years. Oh, that's crazy. I mean, when I'm 27, I'd like to. I'd like to help athletes full time. I'd like to be doing that
Yeah,
as the only thing that I do. As of right now, that may changed obviously, but as of right now, I want to do that full time. I want to have the freedom to be able to do whatever I want, whenever I want.
yeah.
That might also include
From wherever,
appointing. What was that?
from wherever. Like if you're doing it online, it means you can be in Lanzarote coaching people in
Oh yeah,
Scunthorpe.
no, for sure.
Oh,
That's just
good
that
luck with that,
the
mate.
Scottish accent. The Scottish accent got me there. But no, I mean, yeah, wherever you want, that would be obviously great. If I could employ some people as well, that would be great. I mean, that would be
Yeah,
success for me. It would be working wherever you want, on whatever you want, as long as you
yeah,
want.
definitely. That's a good way to put it. And final question: what would a younger Axel think seeing you now, and what would you tell
Ooh, that's a great question. I think a younger, actually, if I was speaking to me at 14, 15 right now, um, he would probably be like, "What the hell are you doing?" Because I mean, the only
him?
thing that's ever been on my mind is going pro in football. All
Yeah,
up to until maybe I want to say maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Um, I mean, I would tell him that don't stop what you're doing because everything that I've ever done throughout my career has obviously led me to
led
this
you
moment, and
here.
I'm very
Yeah,
happy. Yeah, I'm very happy at where
absolutely.
I am at right now, and I don't believe in doing things that you're wasting things or you're wasting years of your life. I
Yeah,
don't think anything really goes to waste. I think everything that I've learned throughout my career can be brought into the next thing I do, whether
yeah,
that's within this or something completely else, business related or
definitely.
yeah, any work you get in the future. Having these years as a student athlete and pursuing pro in football will help you in everything. So I haven't wasted anything. I'll tell that the little boy that just keep doing what you're doing. I mean, don't change anything, but just know you'll end up where you'll want to end up at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great answer. Again, when I was speaking to that boy Andy, he was like, "Oh, what are your plans, like pro and stuff?" And it was like, "Yeah, it was when I came out here, full intention of staying in like professional football, going playing it anywhere." But then that's why college system maybe is a good thing. It broadens your horizons. Now, like,
Yeah.
if somebody chaps on my door and offers me a year contract to play football, I'll be like, "Yeah, sure." But
Mhm.
if at the same time somebody goes, "Oh, here's a job making X amount of money in San Francisco," I'll be like, "Oh, yeah, like I do that." So yeah,
Yeah.
uh,
America's just full of opportunity,
yeah,
really.
yeah. Keep as many doors open and don't ever bite the hand that feeds you or whatever. Keep everyone happy so you can explore whatever you want to go down.
Spot on.
Yeah, good advice, Axel. Very wise man for a young man.
You too.
That's about wraps up things here. That has been Docs Dugout with our guest Axel Battal, and we'll see you next week with a new guest. Boom.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, guys.